Well, hello YouTubers, this is Bob Hickman. It is so good to be back with all of you. Well, today we're going to do something new and mystical. We're going to explore some ancient Chinese magic, and we're going to explore the divination system, I Ching. Now, before we get into all of that, you know, when we talk about doing magic, I think it's a wonderful thing to think about is to get yourself ready. That means putting on special clothes. That means getting yourself in the mood to explore the mysteries. Well, the first thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to put on a beautiful black silk robe. I have this beautiful black silk robe from China, and as you can see, it has a dragon on the back. I just love this. This is my magical robe for when I use the I Ching and do mystic Chinese magic. So we're going to put on our robe. The ancient sages would wear black silk. It represented mystery and power. I've also added today a beautiful white jade Kuan Yin pendant. And I'm also wearing beautiful green jade rings so you can see my jewelry. Now you don't have to wear all of this. This is just something that I do to have fun. But I thought you might want to explore this with me today. So, now that we're dressed, let's join together and enter into the mystery of the I Ching. Come on along. Now, to start our magic, I think it's always wonderful to light incense. So as you can see here, I have my antique Chinese incense burner. Now this has the Chinese signs of the zodiac. It's about 100 years old, and you can see around its rim all the animals of the zodiac. So I like to use this when I do Chinese magic because I think it looks pretty mystical. You can use any type of incense that you want. I happen to be using a nice jasmine incense because that's very Chinese. And as your incense rises, know that it's the intent of your heart that is rising with it. Now, the other things that you need to do this magic besides incense is you need a set of I Ching coins. And these I have in this little pouch. These I Ching coins are Chinese coins that you can see. And you need to have 3 of them. Now, these ones happen to be large ones, as you can see. But they make smaller ones. They don't have to be this big. But these are the ones that I have. In addition to your I Ching coins, you may want a special holder to use with the coins. Now, many people toss the coins using their hands, but because these are larger coins, I'm going to use a special cup that I have. This is an antique dragon cup, as you can see. I use this also for my Chinese magic. I think it helps bring in the power of the ancient sages. But you don't have to have a special dragon cup. This is just one that I use. You'll also want to have a magic marker to write down, to draw your hexagrams with. And we're going to talk about hexagrams in a minute. And a beautiful piece of paper or whiteboard. I happen to have a beautiful piece of board here that we're going to use today. So you need your coins, a cup, some incense, a board, and a pen. Now, the one other thing that you need is the I Ching book. And you can buy the book called I Ching, and I'll put it on the screen here. But I also have this book that I'm using today called Magic, Shamanism, and Taoism, the I Ching in Ritual and Meditation. It's by Richard Hearn. This is a wonderful, mystical, magical book, and it has the I Ching tables in it. Now, I'll show you what the I Ching tables are in just a moment. The I Ching consists of a set of 64 hexagrams, and the hexagrams are a combination of symbols of dashed lines and solid lines. And this is what we call a hexagram table. You'll find this in most I Ching books. The top row in this one shows the upper trigrams and then the lower trigrams. And we're going to make a symbol that it consists of 2 parts, a lower part and an upper part. And these lower part and this upper part combine, and each across the grid gives a number. And then you can look up the actual translations of each of the hexagrams. and it gives the ancient symbol, the name, and the history and divination meaning, as well as information for magic, for correspondences. Very powerful. The hexagrams are very sacred and should not be trifled with. They are not for fun, they are for serious business. Now, many people like to pray before they begin their hexagram creation. I happen to have a great devotion to the sage Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu was the founder of Taoism and wrote the famous spiritual book, the I Ching. This is a statue that I have of Lao Tzu, and I invoke his presence every day. So before we begin the ritual, we call upon you, Lao Tzu. Lend your power to our magic. Let us have the answers we seek and draw from heaven the powerful hexagrams. We invoke you, Lao Tzu. We invoke you, Lao Tzu. We invoke you, Lao Tzu. Now, one of the things that you want to do before you start is, with your coins, you want to choose one side to be heads and one side to be tails. So I'm going to use the dragon side as heads and the symbols, it looks like the kanji characters, as tails. Now, if you're going to name this side heads, in I Ching magic, the head side gets one straight line. This would be the heads. So the dragons equal that symbol. Now, if the other side comes up, which are the kanji characters, then it's tails. Tails gets a broken dash. So here we have heads at the bottom and tails above. These are going to be interpreted in order to make our hexagrams. Our hexagrams consist of two sets of trigrams, and I'll show you how to do those. Now we're going to put our coins, our 3 coins, into the cup. And I like to, for the sake of ritual, to pass my cup through the incense 3 times and to invoke the blessings of Lao Tzu. Now, what you want to do is focus on asking a question of the I Ching. If you don't know what you want to ask, just ask for general advice. So we invoke the power of the I Ching to show us our future. Shake your cup and then cast your coins out. Oops, that one went over here. All right, now you want to look at your 3 coins. So, the way the I Ching works, to create the first line, we need to look at what we've got. 2 heads and a tail. Now, this is one of those cases where majority rolls. So, 2 heads and a tail means masculine. So, our first line is going to be that. So, majority rolls. So we gather up our coins. We've made our first line, which is a masculine side. Put them back in our jar. We rattle them again. We then cast out our coins. And again, we see what we have. This time we've got a tails here. Heads, heads. So again, we have male line. So our second line is a male line. We have to do one more line to create what is called a trigram. So we'll gather up our coins. We put them back in our dragon cup. We shake it around. Cast them out again. This time we've got, it looks like, tails, tails, tails. So this is all 3 tails, which are the feminine side. So the third part is a dashed line. Now this character is the bottom half of our hexagram. It's called a trigram. And we're going to build another set of 3 lines to put on top of that. So again, we repeat our formula. Coins go back in the cup. see what we got. Okay, now here we've got, let's see, tails, tails, and heads. So this is our next line. This is the bottom line of the top trigram. And because we have two tails and a head, that means feminine majority rules. So we have another line, feminine line. So we gather up our coins, put them back in. I'm going to do this a few more times. Okay, our next set is heads, heads, tails. So, majority again rolls. Our next line is a masculine line, solid line. And again, we gather up, and we do this one more time. We've got tails, tails, and head. Tails, tails, head. This is feminine because there are more feminine coins. So our top line is a dashed line. Now you'll see we have 6 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This creates a hexagram. Now what we want to do is go over to our corresponding book and find one that matches. So we want to find the upper level. Now remember here, let me show this to you. We have 2 levels here. This is the top level, and this is the bottom level. Okay? Now the top level is 2 dashes, a solid, and 2 dashes. So we can look at our table and say the upper one. Which upper one matches that? Let's see. Okay, here it is. There's 2 dashes, a solid line, and 2 dashes. That matches our top hexagram. Now we want to hold our finger there and go to the bottom one. We've got from the bottom working up 2 solid lines and 1 dashed. So we'd go into the left side of our column. We'd find one that matches that. And here it is, the bottom one. 2 solids and a dash. So we run down our table and we find that we're at number 60, going across and going up. And we're at 60. So in our book, we flip over and find hexagram number 60. Now in our book, hexagram number 60 shows that character. It shows the hexagram, and it's called Qie, and that means time. And according to this deals with the movement and passage of time. So this basically, I won't read through all of it, but it encourages us to be aware of the harmony of the moon and the sun and the patterns of the seasons. And so my fortune is that I should be aware of time, note its passing, and participate in the festivals of life. I think this is very wonderful. So as you can see, you can learn your future through the I Ching Divination. Now you can ask specific questions. I just asked a general one, but I think it was very helpful to me. And I'd like to encourage all of you to explore this. Now, once you learn all the hexagrams, you can actually start drawing them on things for magic spells and to invoke power. So this is only the beginning. Now, as you work with the I Ching, you'll get to know all the hexagrams. And not only can you cast coins, the I Ching coins, to learn your future and to learn how to create hexagrams, you can also use these hexagrams in other magical ways. For example, a lot of you have been writing to me saying, Bob, I'm struggling financially. I need to get a job soon. I pray that it's going to work out. Can you teach me a spell to help me? Well, I can do that. The I Ching has a wonderful mystical power that seems to work in many other situations besides just knowing the future. For example, here in our book, hexagram number 55 is Feng, which means prosperity. And as you can see, there's the Chinese character and the I Ching character, the hexagram. So what you want to do is get a piece of paper, preferably yellow paper. This is the old Chinese tradition. And you draw that hexagram on that paper. So, remember, starting at the bottom, we draw this symbol. Now, invoking our great, powerful being, our friend in spirit, Lao Tzu, we light a match, and we take our paper with our hexagram on it, and lighting it, we drop it into our burner. And as we watch it burn, we release into the universe our prayers for prosperity. And so mote it be. I encourage you to explore the I Ching. If you'd like to learn more about this, make sure to get this book, Magick, Shamanism, and Taoism by Richard Hearn. I promise you, you won't regret it. Anyways, guys, maybe you'll cast some I Ching coins and show me what you get. If you do this, I'd sure love to see a video response. Anyways, keep it here at Spirit Channel. You know we've got more coming. Thanks so much. Blessings.